really makes you stop and think, doesn't it?
Yes.
Just a handful of years ago, our sources tell us Elon Musk was like the 7th wealthiest person on the planet.
Yeah.
Then he shot up to 4th. And now he's consistently holding that #1 spot.
Right.
It begs the question, how exactly did that happen? Was it purely down to his own ingenuity and effort? Or is there a more complex story behind it all? We've gathered a really compelling set of materials to delve into the reality behind the Elon Musk myth.
Absolutely. Today's deep dive centers on dissecting the methods of Elon Musk's wealth accumulation and taking a close look at his leadership style. You've provided a truly valuable range of sources for us, which is, well, crucial for gaining a well-rounded perspective. We'll be examining a detailed analysis from More Perfect Union on YouTube, first-hand accounts from employees as reported by Business Insider India, Bloomberg's insights into his attention to detail, which, some might call micromanagement, The Guardian's reporting on his involvement with the Trump administration, the BBC's assessment of the underlying issues at Tesla, and a comprehensive overview of his viewpoints from Wikipedia.
Exactly. You came to us because you're looking past the sensational headlines. You want to understand if the widely held image of this self-made visionary, someone potentially even saving the world, truly stands up to scrutiny. So our goal today is to extract the most critical insights from these diverse sources, uncovering the narratives, the controversies, and the actual impact of his methods.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the story of his beginnings, or rather the different versions of that story that our sources present.
That's right. The More Perfect Union video transcript lays out two contrasting narratives regarding his early life in South Africa. On one side, you have those who point to his father's alleged ownership of an emerald mine, suggesting, a foundation of inherited wealth.
On the other hand, Musk himself has stated that he rejected any financial support from his father and arrived in North America as a young man with only around $2,000 to fund his education.
Right.
It's important for us to acknowledge that our sources present both of these accounts without definitively confirming either one.
Interesting that we see such different origins presented right off the bat. Then we move into his early business ventures. He partners with his brother Kimball to launch Zip2, a company providing online city guides. Now, their father did invest $20,000 in this venture, which definitely adds a layer to that bootstrap narrative. But here's where it gets really interesting. Even in these initial stages, we see a clear pattern of his desire for control and personal recognition.
Yeah.
The transcript quotes a city search executive, recalling that while their focus was on customers and financial performance, Musk was heavily pushing for general visibility and specifically visibility for himself. He's quoted as saying, "I'd like to be on the cover of Rolling Stone." It highlights this drive for personal prominence very early on.
That ambition for individual credit and authority does appear to be a recurring motif throughout his career, as the More Perfect Union analysis emphasizes. It's a significant thread to follow as we examine his trajectory.
Definitely.
Zip2 was eventually sold for over $300 million, with Musk personally netting $22 million, which he then used to invest in his next endeavor, X.com, an online banking and mutual funds company.
Right.
Again, his approach involved promising groundbreaking technology and highlighting the personal financial risks he was undertaking.
And he certainly wasn't lacking in confidence when it came to attracting investors, was he? The transcript quotes him stating that raising $50 million was a matter of making a series of phone calls.
Wow.
That level of self-assurance definitely seems to be a consistent characteristic. But things weren't entirely smooth sailing at X.com, were they?
No, they encountered significant challenges. Investors and the board reportedly had doubts about his leadership capabilities as CEO, leading to the appointment of Bill Harris. Simultaneously, some of his co-founders expressed concerns, with one even accusing him of making exaggerated claims to the media about their technological capabilities, claims that weren't actually supported by their existing technology.
Really?
Yeah. Interestingly, SEC filings from that period apparently even listed the absence of proprietary technology as a potential risk to the company.
And there were actual issues with the technology itself, weren't there? Like that pretty serious security vulnerability.
Precisely. There was a significant bug discovered that reportedly could have allowed unauthorized fund transfers from almost any bank account in the national system using just an account number.
Oh, wow.
One of the co-founders was so alarmed by this that he resigned and took a number of employees with him. Musk's reported response, according to the transcript, was simply, "We'll hire more people." Just like that. Ultimately, he pushed Bill Harris out of the CEO role to, in his words, centralize authority by taking the helm himself. This pattern of asserting control is quite notable.
Which then brings us to the merger with Confinity, the company that owned PayPal. That seemed to involve a bit of a struggle over branding, didn't it? The choice between X.com and PayPal.
It did. While initial media coverage following the merger gave attention to both Musk and Peter Thiel, PayPal, which originated from Confinity, seemed to gain more traction with users.
Right?
Despite this, Musk reportedly continued to advocate strongly for the X.com brand, even though the majority of others within the company favored PayPal.
Okay.
Eventually, the decision was made to focus on PayPal, and the press largely credited Musk with this strategic direction. However, behind the scenes, there was considerable internal conflict.
The transcript mentions a mutiny brewing amongst the employees. That sounds quite dramatic.
It was a period of significant internal strife. Executive Roloff Botha reportedly alleged that Musk was concealing serious financial difficulties from the company's board. This led to a group of employees organizing a coup, circulating a petition to the board demanding Musk's removal as CEO, and their efforts were successful. He was ultimately fired and replaced by Thiel.
Wow.
Botha is quoted as saying it was just in time, suggesting the company might not have survived another 6 months under Musk's leadership. This raises questions about his leadership style even in these early ventures.
But even after being fired, he still ended up with a significant financial gain when PayPal was eventually sold, didn't he?
Yes, he received a substantial $180 million from the sale. And as the More Perfect Union analysis points out, even during his college years, he had already identified the key areas he wanted to pursue next: the internet, sustainable energy and transportation, and space exploration.
Oh, okay.
This capital from the sale of PayPal provided him with the means to pursue those ambitions with the founding of SpaceX and his significant investment in Tesla.
Okay, so let's delve into Tesla. It's quite revealing that he wasn't actually one of the original founders. He invested in a company that had already been established by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning.